something that I actually forgot about for many years until I recently rediscovered it. Jack in the Pack, or Jack in the Solar Construction Company as named by many, was a mini-series devised by Phil Farrell to be a spin-off of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Michael Andrews narrated all 13 episodes in the UK and Michael Brandon narrated it for the US. The show served as a sequel to the episodes Jack Jumps In and Jack Helps Out from Series 6, and focused on the working day lives of Jack, Alfie, Oliver, Kelly, Isabella, Ned, Brian, Matt, Monty, Patrick, Nelson and Buster, all operations run by Jen, the owner of the construction crew, aka the Pack. So how is this spin-off of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends compared to the main show? It's very entertaining and a real damn shame that it never went any further. The plan was soon scrapped when Hit Entertainment took over because they saw it as a rip-off of their other construction-based series, Bob the Builder. 26 episodes were planned, but because of financial difficulties, only 13, aka half of the series, were filmed. And even though the show was cancelled, the characters from the Pack would go on to appear in The Great Discovery and many episodes in the show since Andrew Brenner became head writer. The episodes that made it onto the DVD were A Visit from Thomas, Jack Owns Up, On Site with Thomas, Percy's Scary Tale, Kelly's Windy Day, A Happy Day for Percy, A Tale for Thomas, Thomas and the Moles, Percy Helps Out, The Tortoise and the Hare, Thomas's Trusty Friends, Alfie Has Kittens, and Glorious Mud. Looking at the titles of these episodes, I feel like they originally had different titles planned for the episodes, except Hit forced them to put Thomas and Percy in it because the show is about Thomas the Tank Engine. Idiots. And these characters are just really interesting to me. Just seeing them in the TV series is just really interesting. These characters had the potential to shine in future episodes of this spin-off, but sadly it never went any further than these episodes. Jack the front loader is brave and would take no hassle, as seen whenever he stands up to Max and Monty when they bully him and Alfie. He is also kind and caring. Alfie the excavator is a friendly machine who gets on well with his work and never minds getting dirty or mucky during jobs. He always views his work as fun, which is usually the best way to work. Oliver is a wide and kind old excavator and keeps his eye on the other members of the Pack. He is good-mannered and hard-working and never complains about his work or gets impatient. He has the power and precision capability of moving and digging tons of earth in a single day. He likes to be a leader and treats the younger members of the Pack with respect. Kelly is a mobile crane who is good at heart and gets along with everyone. He is especially good friends with Isabella. He is seen by many as the team's leader, and is usually given the most dangerous work to do. He will not be rushed and understands that work of this kind takes extreme care. Kelly used to have a slight fear of strong winds, but he conquered that fear when he rescued Isabella. Isabella, the Sentinel Lorry, is a hard worker, but does not like getting dirty. A bit like Sonia Hedgehog from Sonic Underground then. She can also be rather cheeky and temperamental. And an interesting thing to note about Isabella is the fact that she's the same type of lawyer that Elizabeth is, who, as you may remember from my Series 6 episodes, said I did not like her because she was a complete bitch. But Isabella is nothing like Elizabeth. She's a lot nicer than Elizabeth is. Ned, the old steam shovel, means well, but he can sometimes be clumsy. But apart from minor bumps and accidents, Ned's heart is as big as his bucket, and he is a valued member of the Pack. Looking back at him years later, I kind of see him as the warrior of the series, someone who can be a bit clumsy at times but means well. Almost as if the writers got inspiration from Warrior from Tugs for this character. Byron is a boisterous bulldozer with a big blade. He likes nothing better than showing the other machines on how to get the job done. He is very proud and does not like to waste his talents on jobs he feels are beneath his stature. Byron is the envy of all the other vehicles, or at least he thinks he is. He has a booming voice and likes to work hard. Nevertheless, Byron is always enthusiastic and reliable and wise. Monty and Max, the dump trucks, are usually devious and manipulative, who cause trouble for everyone they come across. They are known to cause trouble, but are sternly scolded by Miss Jenny or any other form of authority when they are found out. Despite being unruly, obnoxious, and many other things that you expect from a comic foil at times with dangerous stunts, they both have a good, caring side, as Max was visibly shot when Jack damaged his arm saving Thomas, and are hard-working like everyone else. And the interesting thing is that when the Pack was introduced in Series 6, all we saw was Max. And when they did this spin-off series, they decided to add his twin Monty. which I honestly really enjoy because it's nice to see a comedy duo, sort of like Bill and Ben, Donald Douglas and Bulk and Skull and so on and so forth. So these are two great comic foils for the show. Patrick is a cement mixer who is found to be quite boastful and thought that concrete made him important, until he was put in his place when he landed in his own concrete. He knows all there is to know about concrete and thinks it is one of the essential means of keeping a building site running. As part of the construction team, Patrick takes pride in his work and makes sure that each job is done correctly. He has been on lots of job sites and knows many different ways to accomplish a task. Patrick will gladly explain how things are done and how they could be done better. So he's almost like a sort of stick-in-the-mud type of character. Nelson is a clever, intelligent and wise balustrader who often feels overworked but never complains. He is proud of his paint and is happiest when he looks his best. Although he would never offer a compliment, he is the first machine to comment on what is going wrong on the construction site. Buster the Steamroller is a hard worker with heart and commitment to what he does, and he is a good dreamer. He goes about his job with glee and pride, knowing all is right with the world. What Buster lacks in imagination, he makes up with heart, commitment and hard work. He is liked by all the machines for his wonderful enthusiasm and kindness to help with everything. Thankfully, these characters were popular enough to be seen in The Great Discovery and show up in a couple of episodes from time to time. This spin-off was directed by Steve Asquith. And for those of you who don't know, Steve Asquith have been on the show since the beginning. When David Mitton held the director position, Stephen held a number of different positions on the show. These positions consisted of second unit director, first assistant director, production supervisor, model supervisor, assistant director, associate producer, and program consultant. During the 6th series, he directed the episodes Jack Jumps In and A Friend in Need, so it only made sense for him to direct the spin-off series with Jack in the Pack. He then became the show's main director after David Mitton's retirement, and remained in that role until 2008. So series 8 to 12, for all its flaws, did at least keep one of the original members of the team within the team. And looking back at this spin-off series, I see it as suffering the same sort of fate that Tugs did, only getting one series and never getting much time to shine due to many reasons. Like Tugs, this spin-off series was really good and so short-lived that it makes me want to see more episodes of it put into production. But it's nice to see that Andrew Brenner brought them back in the future series of the show, even giving Monty and Max some screen time in series 20. It shows that this guy is dedicated to some of these characters that were introduced in the classic series. And it was also really nice to have a spin-off of Thomas the Tank Engine that focused on the road vehicles, since most of the episodes at the time actually focused on the railway engines rather than any of the road vehicles. And we haven't seen a Thomas project where it focuses on the road vehicles since Bulgy Rides Again. And I might be wrong, but I think that was the last time they had a road vehicle story. So it was really nice to see one of the road vehicle sides to the Thomas universe, the construction side of that. So having looked at this again, it's a well-made and underrated spin-off series that deserves more attention and love. And if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out. You'll have a great time watching this show about road construction vehicles.